and welcome to another episode. Today I thought I would try something a little bit different. I wanted to create discussion either below in the comments section or on the Age of Empires Facebook page if that's where you found this video. This is quite a short match and it's to do with the Drushed that Hera did about 6 months ago. I only saw the video about 2 or 3 days ago myself, but it couldn't have been any more well timed. So I'll leave a link to that original video in the description of this video and let you guys see it for yourselves. But the important thing about the strategy is you only build one house instead of two, and you build your barracks straight away. And then once this barracks is built, this villager will then go back onto this wood and start to collect enough lumber for the second house so they don't get pop capped. That's sort of what he's going to be doing here. So I'm the Brits and I've just gone for the standard 6 villagers on the sheep. Maybe I could have gone for 5 seeing as I was the Brits, but it's one of the things where you get so used to your starts that you forget what civilization is. It's like when you try to hotkey your houses to begin with and realise you're the Huns, or you try to create villagers from your town centre and you realise that you're the Chinese. So it's like one of them things. So I'm basically keeping 6 villagers and the sheep, and then the rest of my villagers will be going on to the wood, with my strategy being dock down here and sort of docking this coastline as I go around, and that's where I'm going to get all of my food from, bar obviously the sheep. If that wasn't a pun, then I don't know what is, and my boars. So that's sort of what strategy I'm going for, hence why I'm going to be sending all my villagers onto this lumber line here, which will actually help me in the future. So down here he's already got his first militia and he's been attacked by this mountain lion and lost some health off that one militia, which is also important as well. So all these little things are already stacking up for my opponent at home. He's sort of killed all his sheep at the same time and not really got much food from them, and they're decaying, and he's gone straight to his boar, which is again is away from his town centre. And only now he's built his second house, so he's been pop capped as well, so he can't produce, you can see on the right hand side, he can't produce that second militia, so it's delaying him getting into my sort of my base as well. So all this time he's losing here, I'm getting more and more villagers onto this line of trees here, which is also important. So if we go back to his viewpoint, because this is the most crucial part, he's obviously got that lack of time there. He's finally got his second militia out, and then he sends his second villager onto wood as well. And then down here he's just scouting and trying to see where I am, because this isn't on sort of viewed. It's he's sort of got to find me. You could probably see up there a second ago there was a loom bit in research, but then I sort of queued, but then I cancelled that and decided to just carry on creating more villages. And so I finished my boar off, bring my second one in. I did actually lose a villager from that first boar. I couldn't garrison her quick enough, and I got killed for that. Hence probably why I went for that loom and then decided against it again, because this boar was up on this hill, and obviously the hill attack bonus if it was chasing me. And so he does come in with his scout and his militia, and then he's got his other militia over here as well. So at this point when he's starting to come in, he's now sort of coming into this whole line of villagers. So I've got villagers here obviously right next to the town centre, so as soon as he attacks them they're obviously just going to garrison. So the only other option he has is to go into this big pack of villagers here, and I react quite quickly to it and start to get a couple of good hits on him. Of course I haven't got loom, so my villagers don't take many hits to kill, and he does take one down, but with that I kill 2 militia and a scout. So a couple of my villagers do lose a bit of health and I only lose 1, so I'd say that's not too bad. So the strategy is obviously just to pick off his whole sort of lumber line, and because they're far away from town centre you're hoping to take out 3 or 4 before that even happens. So now up here you can see I'm researching loom straight away, and although I'm not producing villagers I am actually producing fishing ships, so I'm still producing resource collecting units, so I'm not too badly losing out from that. So I've got my dock, my fishing ships, and I've only lost 1 villager. I do get housed, so I do have to build a second house, but as I say I'm not planning to do too many farms or anything like that, so I don't really care where this house goes, to be honest. Because obviously I'm the Brits, I'm just planning to go for longbowmen, gold and wood. If I do need to transition into food, either I'll just use the food from the fishing ships, but if that runs out, I'll build a couple of farms, but nothing too major. So he does come out with his second militia, and he's got a militia here as well, which is attacking me. But what I'm more worried about is getting that sort of wall built. So you can see each of these are sort of taking in turns trying to get this wall built, just so this second militia can't, because I'm sort of expecting this second militia can't back him up, so he has to run away with this one because it's pretty much got no health left, and then he sort of runs down here expecting me to follow him down, but I again send my villager around here instead and wall down here. So I'm basically trying to wall just to stop these rushes, and you know, obviously as I build he can't get through, but also just to delay him. So instead of getting a straight route right to my base, now I've got to walk around just to delay him that little bit more, and all that time I'm getting more and more villagers as well. So I get a second tree line going here because it started to become a little bit inefficient, but at this point I do build a couple of houses just to block him from getting into this wood line here where I've only got a couple of villagers, and to either push him around here to my town centre or to push him through down here into all these villages. So that's the reason for blocking that sort of part off there. And he does come in with his 3 militia, and I sort of send my second villager is, I've already got one over here over as well, just to sort of get them built quicker, because obviously I've got this big gap here I want to fill as well. So he does sort of decide to come in with these 3 militia. I do actually build a mill at this point. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe you can comment on that in the comment section, you know, seeing as I was going on to docks and I was going to dock over here as well, but at this point I'm also going up to feudal age as well. You can see from red he's nowhere near. So he does then try to charge down this villager, you can probably see there, and I run away. I misclick these onto here and I send these villagers over to chase after him, but again I don't want to be too idle for too long, so I sort of let him go up to this high ground. He's probably wanting me to chase him with the odd villager and him just pick them off, but I sort of leave him to his own devices. So all this time he's microing these and clicking them around, and at home he's trying to build a wall as well, and he's got inefficient gold, he's got inefficient sort of villagers here as well, and he's got the lumber here. So he's got the wood to build a mill, but he just hasn't chosen to, and he hasn't got the second boar either. So we click back down to here with these militia, he's basically walking them around here. So all this time I'm obviously have to use a little bit of my focus on these militia to see where they're going. Maybe I could have finished off earlier, maybe that would have helped me, but at this point you can see I'm creating sort of villages, I'm creating fishing ships. I've actually created barracks over is here as well, and I'm actually upgrading militia to the next step as well, so I can sort of outclass these ones if I need to. So I've got my fishing ships, as I say, and he was probably expecting me to have a gold mine down here, but I hadn't got to that point yet, and then he does decide to charge into here. I think at this point he's not really got any other options, but just the sheer amount of villagers I've got here, they've all got loom as well, and I don't react too quickly to him, so he does get a couple of hits on me before I do react. But you know, it's quite easy, just the sheer number, and with loom on he calls GG. So guys, what I want to know is, from the gameplay you just saw, is there anything I could have done better, maybe things that I didn't need to do? And the same with my opponent. Obviously I pointed out that the mill, the not getting the second boar, the inefficiency in terms of travelling to these areas, and sort of what could I have done better. It's also really important to note that the original video was on actually Arabia, so you didn't have all this water and stuff like that. So normally with the meta you'd have 4 or 5 on the wood line, which he was expecting seeing his video, but because I was going for this really aggressive docks and fishing ships, I had all my villagers here, and I think that probably played a really crucial role in why this wasn't successful. But let me know, have a discussion in the comments below or on the Facebook page, and let me know your thoughts. But until next time.